Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing, shocker, a relationship reading. The title of this reading is Consider This, or Have You Considered This? So we have a slightly different format. We have 4 rune cards up here, and then we have a tarot card from 4 separate tarot decks, and I really want you to pick your tarot deck. Usually it's a crystal card, but like I said, I have 4 separate tarot decks here. They have kind of different colors, patterns, designs, vibe, and yeah, pick your one of these 4 guys or gals that jump out at you, and then this will be your rune card. That'll kind of set the theme for like your relationship, and then we'll get into reading about it, and we're gonna get some advice and something to consider, and maybe it'll be like eye-opening and it'll help you see things differently, or it'll give you all the insight you need, something incredible. So thank you so much. I have a timestamp for you down below in the comments. Anyway, pick your card and jump to your reading. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Hello, pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and I'm just happy to be reading for you. I love reading about relationships, love reading about love, any of that. It's definitely my happy place in a reading. And this is a reading on relationship advice, and it's titled Consider This. So we are going to consider all these possibilities that could be going on in your dynamic. Okay. You picked, I'm going to put this little crystal here, not so little actually. You picked this lovely deck. The name of it's escaping me. Okay, here's your rune card. We have Awaz, I think it's actually pronounced. Not because anyone actually said it to me, but because I have a book and it tells you the pronunciation. This is a rune card of movement, of travel. Also very much a rune card of trust, hence these 2 climbers who are, relying on each other with a lifeline here. So there's definitely this sense of like, I don't know, working in sync, unity, synchronicity, and absolutely like, I want to find another word for trust, because I don't think trust says enough. I don't think it gives enough justice to like, whoops, there we are, what this card really encapsulates. But if we're looking at your relationship, and the title is Consider This, I need more information, because I feel like that could go in a couple different directions. I'm going to get one of these elemental cards to kind of, I want to see also your dynamic and your relationship in a card. And we have passion, so very much love that. And I want to see another card to kind of get a big picture of you guys and see where we're at here. Happiness. Okay. 3, and here's why I feel like it's important to pick these other 2 cards, because I could have said, I don't know, have you considered like trusting your partner? I could have, but actually I do think you trust your partner. Okay, here's what I want to cycle back on this. When I first turned this card over, I wanted to say, not do you trust your partner, but are you trusting your partner? Like, I think you do trust your partner, but are you giving them enough credit? Are you really leaning into that sense of trust? And the reason I bring this up is because if I see the passion piece, that plant is amazing, but definitely gets in the way. And I see the trust card, I think to myself, like, you guys, I think you have very strong communication. I think you have, like, physically, I think you guys absolutely click. I think you do have this sort of, dolphins jumping over rainbows kind of moments. If anything, I could say that you're probably in the beginning of your dynamic, or things are like just very blissful. How long that lasts is different for every relationship, but it doesn't mean that you have to go to a bad place after this. It just means that things might quiet down a little bit. But there's something about trust here, and I want to take into account that I do see that you guys are in a very like, oh my goodness, this plant, which I love so much. I just feel like maybe we have to move it. There we go. So simple. I feel like, okay. Anyway, I feel like I need to get into some tarot. Let's put it that way, because we do have something here. There's something real in this. I want to see you guys in 3 cards, your dynamic, your relationship. Because the topic is consider this, and there's something to get into here. Okay, Spirit of Cups. Innocence of Cups, great. And 3 of Cups, wow. I love when there are consistencies. I love when things flow like this. The theme here, I mean, if we just look at this from like a dolphins and whales and ocean and water, you guys are, you're so utterly feeling each other. You are so loved up. You're so passionate. I feel like every night is just like this journey in, I don't know, like exploration and love and fun. You guys are just, and it doesn't even have to be at night. It can be during the day. It can be while you guys are, I don't know, reading a book. Like, there's just a lot of passion between you guys. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of communication. This could all be overwhelming and a bit much at times. This can probably turn chaotic and messy at times, but there's such a theme of love and this thing that bonds you guys to each other. I feel like what you have right now, and it could be for now and forever, who knows, but I feel like it's impenetrable. Like, no one's coming between you guys. You have this deeply, it's not unspoken, because I think you guys speak plenty of words, but it's like there's this wall of water around you guys, and no one can touch you. And I love this. I feel like almost everyone should or has experienced this at some point in their life. So I love that you're here right now. I'm going to take this from a place of like where my gut goes. What am I feeling? I'm not going to talk about it just yet. I'm going to turn over 3 more cards, and then I'm going to get into like why I have to incorporate this trust piece. But I see like a very, everything's positive. Everything's happy right now, but I want to help either prepare you or help you with like the next iteration of your dynamic, which I think is also going to be great and loving and wonderful and sunshine and rainbows. But I just, let's see you guys. Let's see near future in 3 cards. And you know what? It may be every water card in the deck, and God bless you guys. Okay, we've got the Fool, which is a lovely card, actually. Innocence of Wands. And 8 of Swords. Okay, so near future, not necessarily water on the table, but that's okay. We still have this. The innocence is like the page, it's the passion. We have that for the cups, and we have that for the wands. We have this continued like desire to grow together, to get to know one another, to explore. I think now you're in this phase of very much like touching, feeling, exploring, and with that, like just diving into these lovely emotions and endorphins that I always associate with the cups. So I think you are just totally loved up, totally feeling each other, totally happy. I think that you give off this very like contagious just endorphin rush to whoever passes by you guys or hangs out with you or has dinner with you guys or whatever. So yes, love where you're at right now. Near future, also love it. It has a little more depth. With the Fool, I think we have you guys. Okay, I'll come back to the Fool in a second, but I think that yes, we have more experimentation, more new beginnings, but it's a little more action, it's a little more doing. It's in other words, it's like more actually getting out of bed kind of thing. And I'm not, implying anything, but I just feel like this is now, there's just a little more complexity. It's like different, you're opening different doors, you're exploring new things that are maybe a little more difficult to explore. And so I really feel like here's the consider this. Here's the piece that like you didn't need to hear this from me. So far, I haven't told you anything that you don't already know. And that's beautiful. And I love this for you guys. I think the consider this is like, consider that this phase you're in, things will change and evolve, because they do with everything's changing. Everything's always changing. Everything's always, I don't know, dying and changing and evolving, and nothing lasts forever. And I mean this in like a very, I don't want this to like bum you out. I want you to see it for what it is, because even this phase that you're in can get exhausting. And I think that sometimes, maybe more for like a feminine energy than a male, this phase can be like something you're almost ready to see your way out of. Like, you want the next thing. It's like you want your puppy to grow up into a dog at some point. You want to be able to like take it on more substantial trails or longer car rides. You want to, stop buying it puppy chow and like get into like the adult kibble or whatever. I just feel like there's this desire for more. And I do want you to consider that there will be more, and there'll be more meat, there'll be more bite. You guys will have more grit, more edge, like everything. And I do think that's coming up for you in a very lovely way. And I think where you are now, it's predictable, it's sweet, it's sexy, it's romantic, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's also quite predictable. And I think you'll start to get into like phases in this dynamic that are less predictable, but carry more weight. And it will get into this more trusting, like you're going to have to rely on your partner for more than just like a hit of endorphins. In other words, like consider that this person could actually be someone that you experience so many things with. Like, for as happy as they make you right now, consider that they could also make you this angry, this frustrated, this whatever. There's going to be like a whole spectrum here. But I like this because I think for both of you, definitely you, possibly both of you, this is going to be like a new adventure. There's very much this innocence here, this beauty, this, it's like this, you're stepping into an unknown, but it's very positive. And the Eight of Swords does remind me, and reminds me to remind you, that things will feel tense at times. You will feel everything from like icky to trapped to confused to lost to stressed, all these things. But if this is your person, and by person I mean the person you're supposed to be with in this moment, I don't know about the next moment or the next day or the next week, but like in this moment, let's say this is your person, and for however long you want this moment to extend for, it's okay if you go through this complete range of emotion with them. But I just think you do have this ride ahead of you that will be lovely and great and positive. And so far, everything here tells me like you guys are you're absolutely on one together. You're completely lit up. You're feeling each other. It's very exciting. But it is. I see potential here for a real relationship, and maybe that's the message. Like, consider this. This could actually be more than a like roll in the hay, or like however outdated that term is. This could be something like very real, something that can make you happy in ways that like extends well beyond that of like passion or whatever. So like this could be your partner in crime and life and play and everything. I actually think that's kind of the message here. Like, maybe this person has more to offer, more depth. Maybe this whole dynamic has more depth than you ever realized. I just feel like there's something here, and I want that to be the consider this, because I love this. This is fun. I've got to get some more cards for you, because there's a lot here. I want to see you. I deeply love these cards. I want to see you in I'm going to take that card. Who are you in this relationship? Who are you in this dynamic? I want to see you. And I have magic. And actually, I want to see your person. Speed. Okay. So magic is, what do we have here? Oh my God. Alchemy, which I love everything about. And speed, we have movement. And that's funny because the rune card, one of the things that they associate it with is movement. It's trust, it's movement, it's, oh my gosh, is it also speed? Hold on, give me a second here. It is, well, horse, travel, speed, movement, loyalty, trust, faith, all the things that you want in a relationship. That's this. So I'm going to say your person really embodies this rune card to me, which makes me think they might be the ones to push this relationship to the next level. They might be the ones who actually want more. So they might be the one to carry the more like feminine energy or the more feminine vibe in this dynamic. And if that doesn't sound appealing to you, consider, I'm trying to say, let it sound appealing. Like, let it sound nice that the person you're with, whether a man or a woman, could be the one who likes you just a little bit more than you like them. Like, it's not the worst thing. And actually, there's a lot of like older people who have very successful relationships who will tell you that like finding someone who likes you just a little bit more than you like them is like the key to everything. I am the person who seeks out, I always want to like them more than they like me, because there's some thrill in that, or this piece of it that keeps me like enthralled, but it literally gets me absolutely nowhere repeatedly. So I always say like, yes, I want to find the person that likes me a little bit more than I like them, but I still want to be like butt crazy in love with them. So this is the balance you have to strike. This is what I want you to consider. I actually do see your person as, they will be like the mover in this dynamic, and whether you are glimpsing this now or not, just consider that that could pop up. And you, the magic here, the alchemy, the potential, you really are this, oh, it's like you're kind of this almost guiding light. There's something very pure. There is something in you that I see as incredibly trustworthy, as this like this base. This, although I say base and then I want to say solid, and I feel like those are opposites, but like this very, well, maybe you are a little bit of both. Maybe you are this fantastically captivating, there is something mysterious about you. I'm going to put it that way. You do have a mystery to you. And I do think that as I stare at this whole piece here, I think commitment might be hard for you. I think you are truly enamored at this dynamic now. But again, the message here is like, consider this. This can get deep. This has the potential to get deep, to be heavy, to be more real than you ever imagined, and possibly more beautiful, more everything. And I just want you to consider that. I'd love for you to get excited about this. If all this tracks, and like, let's say everything I'm saying tracks, then this is like a potentially very exciting place for you to be. Like, even, oh my God, my plant is shedding these little like things that look like brown hairs. This is a very exciting place for you. And you being alchemy, you being magic, you having this like mysterious quality that I think truly draws people in. I think people are fascinated by you. I don't think it's hard for you to find someone that is like enthralled with you. That's not hard for you. It's hard for you to find someone that you genuinely click with, and that you feel something deep and respectful for in turn. And also, it might be hard for you to trust. It might be very hard for you to be this person climbing up the hill, like extending your hand or reaching your hand to be helped by someone else. This could be a very tough place for you, but I think your person, whether it's easy for them or not, they have an easier time with this than you, or maybe you're that one person that makes them feel like they really can do this. So I just want you to consider that you could be in like a very, very amazing, loved up, positive situation where there's like trust and passion and happiness and all these amazing emotions like thrown out in front of you. And I feel like you picked the right tarot pile, you picked the right rune card. Like, this is a really, really beautiful reading, and I love it for you, and I hope you love it too, and I hope it speaks to you. And you know, like, if for some crazy reason this doesn't speak to you right now, then let's just hope and say that this is what your next relationship is going to look like. Consider this. This could be your next relationship, because I want this. You picked this for a reason. You landed here for a reason. And I would love to hear if you are here right now, if it makes sense. If you want to be here, then I believe that this is like what you have to look forward to. So great job. Okay, I would love to hear a comment, like, subscribe, please engage in any way, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. You are pile 2. You picked pile 2. Well, you picked pile 2. This is pile 2, and we are doing a reading for relationship advice. Consider this. So I want to open your eyes to something. The cards are going to show you a message, a potential, a possibility, something to consider in your relationship. So yes, here we go. Okay, we started with a rune card, and this is Perthrow. And Perthrow's, it's an interesting one because it's, as I read from it, it is cup, it's container, and I think that's because the sea could like essentially hold something. But I feel like it's this container of wisdom, of knowledge, of secrets. It's almost like a way of saying this could be revealed to you, like spill the contents out. There's also a sense of mystery here because maybe you can look at this as like something that is like almost capped off. But yeah, for me, the big takeaway here is mystery. And I'm going to get 2 other cards to help see your dynamic and get some insight because the last reading I thought was pretty exciting. So let's start with how I see your guys' dynamic in a card, which I meant to say before I pulled the card because it's an intense one. Bushfire, which really could be interpreted many ways, some good, some bad, but let's not assign anything to it just yet. Let's see the big picture, and I want this card, Blessings. Okay. So for your dynamic to kind of like kick off this reading, which is consider this, for me, the whole point is like to open, like to reveal something, to open your eyes to something, to shed light on something, to kind of give this like, okay, so Perthrow I don't feel is like necessarily good or bad. It's this mystery. It doesn't always seem like the best thing in a relationship. However, it does when I think of like temptation and excitement and this kind of like mysterious quality that I think can absolutely be like sexy and exciting for a lot of people. So I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole with that. Bushfire is a little funny. This is definitely oh God, like if I look at your dynamic in a card, it's almost like there's an intensity here that's, I don't want to say toxic, but like there's an intensity that's intense and I can't quite put my finger on it. Blessings, this is a lovely card. This makes me think of like, look around you, what's there? I'm taking a minute with these 3 cards because I really do like to get a feeling of things before I get into the tarot. And there's something. Okay, so I'm hoping the consider this is gonna like shed light on something, a mystery. And I think it might actually be something beautiful. It might be a bit of like a savings grace. It might be like a Hail Mary or something. I feel as if your relationship needs this. I think you need to see or hear something beautiful, something revealing, something lovely, something to keep you there, to keep you attentive. And you know what, maybe you are in this kind of like wildflower fire, I wish it was a wildfire situation. I think maybe you are like about to flee. There's things just feel very like, what if, even this volcano in the background, it's not active, or maybe it's active but it's not erupting, or I don't know, maybe the red here means it is erupting, I'm not sure, but it's just, there is this sense of, yeah, of something building, of heat, of intensity. And then this card like brings it all back, it calms it all down, it makes us think like, look, it's not all bad, things aren't all bad here at all, just look at the big picture. There's a lot of good here, there's a lot of grace, there's a lot of beauty, and there's a lot to be thankful for. So there's just this whole big picture here. And this reminds me of something that like, either this is someone you have been with for a while, know very well, have had a lot of go-rounds with, or it's someone that you're just starting to like do relationship-y things with, but maybe you're not quite in a full-fledged like commitment. Okay, I want to see you guys, the 2 of you, your person, in 3 cards. So let's see where you're at in 3 cards. the High Priestess, which is also mystery, divine, feminine mystery, but mystery all the same. The World, love that, and the Star. Okay, 3 major cards. I always turn major cards. I don't know, I could shuffle a deck for 2 hours and turn over major cards, so it doesn't surprise me. Okay, I think both of you actually want something out of this. I really do. Why it's hard for you guys to attain, I'm not sure, but the World card makes me think it's absolutely possible, and then I think you've absolutely glimpsed parts of it. There is this mysterious quality hanging over this dynamic, but you guys both want something. You both, and this is, I think the Blessing card really encapsulates this top line here, because these are 3 very positive, very beautiful, very like deep, enriching cards. To put them together like this is just, if you want this to work, this tells me like there's so much here with you guys. There's so much love, there's so much strength, there's so much hope and positivity. Maybe you guys are going through like a little bit of like a shitstorm. Maybe things have been tough. Maybe there's this undercurrent that's a little bit much. I don't know, but seeing you guys in these 3 cards is truly epic. And if this is a dynamic that you like want to see through, if this is something you want to grow on, I just see great potential based on these 3 lovely cards. So let's take it a little bit further. I want to see your guys's, I want to see your past. I usually ask for the near future in 3 cards, but there's something I need to understand more. There's a big picture I need to get, and we need to touch on the whole point of this, which is consider this. So I still don't, I couldn't say consider this and follow it up with anything that I would be confident in just yet. So I want to see your guys' past in 3 cards and see, you know, near past. 9 of Cups, so we're out of the majors, I guess. 9 of Wands, and the Moon. Okay. The Moon also has a very strong element of mystery. Okay. It is, okay, so 3 cards on the table to completely, I'm not going to say the word mystery again after this, but I am going to say they highlight mystery. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. 9 of Cups, this is like the wish card. This is the card of asking and receiving. It is that blissful feeling you get when you want something and then it is there. It can be anything from ice cream to the perfect date, to the perfect person, to anything, to the freaking raise you wanted. It is something to say like you're on the right track. 9 of Wands, kind of a burden, kind of a lot to deal with. Defending yourself, protecting yourself. So if I look at your guys' near past, I'm gonna say something good happened. Something good happened. You guys thought, I'm not going to say that you thought you were on the right track and you weren't, but I'm going to say it felt like the right track. Things happened. Things that you wanted to achieve, you did. Certain boxes were checked. Not everything was checked. There were things that were left undone, unsaid. It was like things were almost perfect, except for 9 of Wands makes me think that you do know this person pretty well and you do kind of carry each other's weight. And I would say that one of you is taking on one of the other's baggage. I don't know, obviously I don't know which one, and I can't even speculate, but it does feel like one of you has a lot, something you take on, and that might be the bushfire card. That might be this, like, the feeling that whatever this weight is, whatever it is you're dealing with, whatever you're taking from this person or they're relieving from you, it's a lot, and they really might want to run at some point, or they've wanted to just not deal with that one piece anymore. However, I think you guys have something, so I don't think that this piece is enough to push anyone away, but I just feel like it needs to be addressed and talked about a little bit. It needs to be not swept under the rug, and it needs to be brought to light, because I think it's actually bigger than it's been given credit to. So whatever this piece is, I do think that it's a bit of a burden, and that it makes me think of the mystery part of this, and the blessings tells me that yes, you guys, you have something. We see this in the world, we see this in the star, but there was an episode, there was an event between you guys recently which you have so totally almost recovered from, but that event had to do with this bushfire thing, this sense that someone wanted to bail or leave or cut out because things were just too intense. And you know, the consider this, it's hard because I don't want to say like, consider this, maybe this isn't the right person for you. However, I do want to say, consider this, maybe this isn't the right dynamic for you. So if you had that feeling, and this is only one direction and we're going to spin it back, because I don't want that to be the reason why you're here. And honestly, I don't think it is for everyone listening to this. But if there was a part of you that was like, I don't know if this is right, I don't know if this is too hard, I don't know if this really is my person, then consider that maybe it's not. And you've already played such a big and important part in each other's life that it truly has been a blessing. You came into each other's life at the perfect time. You were meant to help each other, and now you're meant to go a separate way, or whatever. I mean, whatever. Consider that. But if that doesn't speak to you, if that isn't why you're here, if you really don't want to go that direction, I do think that it's like, I have to take the opposite of it, which is consider that this is the thing that's going to make you guys stronger. And I know those are two very like opposite and conflicting messages, but I really feel like it's one of those, this is going to go in one direction for you. And I feel like consider that this is the thing that becomes the glue that really holds you guys together, and you get through it and you count your blessings. And even though one of you guys wanted to run, you didn't, you saw it through. It was hard, but now it feels amazing. And you've already felt like this person has been like a prayers answered kind of person at some point. So sure. Or consider that you've had this amazing run, great experiences, great memories, and now it's time to move on and move forward. And the thing is, if that's the case, if you are like the latter, or, you know, pile one, or like option one, which is moving on, I don't think you're hearing this and you're like heartbroken over it. I think you kind of know this. I think it's already something you have indeed considered. So I don't feel like I'm telling you or revealing anything that's so hard to hear. I think it's, maybe you're here for that reason, or maybe you're like, hell no, like this is my person. We've already been through this. I've already helped them with this, or vice versa. I want to see this through. Then great. Yes, see it through, because it truly is. Either way, you guys, I think we're absolutely supposed to be together, supposed to find each other. I think there's a true blessing like quality to this, this relationship, this dynamic, this partnership. There really is like a magic that plays out here, truly. And I see that the more I look at this, like, and I think you guys kind of have completed each other. You've given so much, like you've poured yourself into this cup that you've been sharing. There's just a very, it's like this fire and water element connection to you guys. There's this complexity and this back and forth and this duality, but it can be the thing that like keeps you guys together, or the things that makes you realize that it's time. Okay, so I want to see you in this dynamic in a card, and I want to see your person, and then we can speak to that a little bit more and see where that gets us. So this is you, pressure, transformation, okay? And this is your person, depth, lake. Okay, let me think on this for a minute, because I'm trying to think just by these cards, like who I can assign, who's been the holder of the issue and who's been like the helper of the issue. I can't do that, but I can say that like you both have this intensity. The depth and the lake, your person, they have this complexity. They have this darkness, this depth, this is so much mystery here, okay? So your person to me embodies the mystery cards on the table. You almost more embody like to me, the hope, the new beginnings, the what if, like the question mark exclamation part. Whereas your person is kind of like the ... Like there's just this, but you know what? It is a beautiful set of like opposite sides of the spectrum. What just happened? There's an echo. There's this like opposite sides of the spectrum piece to this that I find very interesting, full of depth, and just very revealing. I want to say this, if you want to make it with this person, and the more I look at this, I think you've been through more than I'm giving credit for, or than I've given credit for. I think whatever this bushfire is, whatever this mystery is, whatever this thing is that's on the table that I cannot pinpoint for the life of me, it's real and it's intense, and there's a story there, and I think you guys will always be connected. You'll always have this like spiritual connection. There will always be something between you, and you know in your heart, in your gut, as a couple, together, whatever, separately, individually, you know if you're supposed to be together and supposed to go on. And so my consider this is like, I don't know, consider that you should be with this person forever, or consider that you've run your course. It's just, I want you to consider both of those options, but I want you to see how amazing and how real and how life-changing this is for you guys. There is something about this that is very, very, just very special. And I'm like waxing over and over this because the more I look at it, the more I feel it. There's a story here, and the story I think is very deeply rooted in love and care and like a genuine interest in helping the other and growing together. And I really like this pressure and this lake, the opposites. And you know, the thing is, like when you're underwater, when you're at a depth of water, there's tremendous pressure. So you guys do feel each other, you do see each other, you come together, like you're far apart, but you're also so totally in sync. And I really think you feel each other, like just that sway, that momentum, you guys can really, really work together in a way that's beautiful. And I think it's what a lot of the best relationships or dynamics are made of. And so, hey, consider this. Maybe you guys do go on to absolutely kill it and be the most amazing couple, or maybe you have found the best friend and like this soulmate kind of person, but in a more like platonic, less like involved, maybe codependent kind of way moving forward. Maybe this has been too much for you, maybe or maybe it's everything you need. I don't know. I don't even know if this reading has gotten you anywhere. If you would leave me a comment and say like, I totally feel this reading, or it's chaotic and you're all over the place, I mean, feel free to share it with me. But okay, I see something in your cards. I want to ask Spirit for some input on your dynamic. Let's just be bold and let's ask Spirit for input and see what she has to say. So we're getting her. Okay, so we've got death, which has nothing to do with death. Cannot stress that enough. It is new beginnings. It is like an exciting transformation, rebirth card. So we have death. Oh my goodness, the Tower and 10 of Coins. Okay. So we asked Spirit for some input. And we got some intense cards. So death and the Tower put together is very much like a boom, a new beginning. Very much like how a bushfire would completely wipe the slate clean. It would leave the ground just covered in ash and cracked and completely ready for new life. This also completely embodies the death and the tarot energy here, or the death and the Tower energy in tarot. These are like synonymous, and I like this because to me it backs up, it brings things back together. So the input from Spirit is in these two cards. Yeah, you've been through it. You know now what you need to do. The 10 of Coins is a lovely card. And this is why I just paused to think about it, because this card in the input from Spirit is all about finding your place, finding your home, being in that place, accomplishing that sense of like you are grounded, you are secure, you are in the place you're meant to be, you have family around you, you have generations of family around you, you have a home, you have a garden, you have everything you need. You might not see everything you want and hope for in this car, you know, like you might not see the house or the car, the bank account, the health, but it's all represented in this card. And that means that whatever you do, it's going to lead you to this. And this is happiness. This is your place. It's going to bring you to your place from a relationship, home, security standpoint. So I'm just going to say, I don't know what you should do. I don't know if you should move forward with or without this person, continue to work and cycle together, or if you should move in separate directions. I don't know, but whatever you do, it will be the right decision because it will lead you to this. And I just want to stress that I think this is the consider this, that there is a slate that is going to be wiped clean, much like a bushfire. And that is going to reveal what you do with that clean slate, that new beginning, that fresh start that you're going to be given with this person, and which is also something you've probably wanted. And this is a piece of the mystery. Like, you have wanted this, and you're going to get it, and what you do with it is going to be what sets the stage, I think, for the rest of your life, as far as like a with someone or without someone, or with this person or without this person kind of thing. Yeah, so consider that it took us the end of the reading to get here, that you're going to have a clean slate and you're going to get to kind of like scorch the earth and start fresh, and you can do it with or without this person. So consider those two options. Okay, this has been an interesting reading. I don't love this reading because I feel like it might have been hard to like understand or interpret from what I was saying, only because I don't know how much I got out of my head and like shared what I really thought and felt. But I do feel this like this relationship is it's reaching like a fork in the road, like, you know, like a fork. You guys can move separately, or you can like go straight together. So it's not a fork, it's like a Y or whatever. And you guys have an option to move together or not. And either way, I think you guys have been truly fortunate and blessed and lucky and all those things to be where you are. And whatever path you take, it's not the wrong path. It's the path you're supposed to take. As maybe lame or cheesy as that sounds, I want you to consider that this, whichever direction you move in is the direction you're supposed to move in. And you will know it's the right direction, and it will feel good, and it will be your place. So I hope this helps. I'm done. Please, if you want to comment on this, I'd love to hear it. Whatever you have to say. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye. Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. It's everything. Oh my gosh, you picked pile 3, and we're doing things a little differently. We have a rune card for you, and then you have your own tarot deck that's only going with pile 3. And this is the cat tarot. You don't know that yet, but it's one of my favorite tarot decks. But first, I picked a rune card to kind of just get an idea of things, and I'm going to pick a couple other oracle cards. I want to see your dynamic, your relationship. I want to get a picture of like what I should give you to consider. And this is Uruz. Oh my gosh. How the heck do you pronounce this? Uruz. And this is a card of strength, of vitality, of like emotional courage, creativity, power, kind of like a brute force that can be both feared and like reveled. It is revered. I don't know if reveled's even a word. Yeah, there's something very powerful and strong and confident and capable in this card, and I'm not sure how to apply this to your dynamic yet, but I want to get 2 other oracle cards and kind of see the big picture of your relationship and give you something truly meaningful to consider, because that is what happened in the other 2 piles almost. And yeah, okay, so we have solitude, which is not necessarily the card you're dying to get for a relationship, but powerful all the same. Okay, and let's get your dynamic in a card, and we've got South. Okay, and South is adventure. Okay. I'm gonna say, consider this. Okay, sorry, I cut out there for a second. I didn't cut out, I just thought for a minute. What I want to say is something along the lines of like, consider that maybe you guys have a journey to take that doesn't necessarily involve each other. Consider that you could and possibly do belong together, and that this is your person, but that you have the strength and the ability to do something unique and different, and it doesn't necessarily have to require your partner. Maybe that's it. So consider that as much as you love this person, there's something you're meant to do without this person. Okay, let me see your dynamic in 3 cards, and we're gonna get to this because as I say this out loud, I feel like there are a couple other like possibilities and iterations of this, but you know, I don't know if you've watched my readings before, but I always have a way of coming back and like nailing down a point, but it can take me a minute, and I really do feel like very specific things when I see the cards laid out, and I don't want to speak to them or give them too much in the beginning. So I'm gonna get some cards to see you guys right now in 3 cards. Okay, we have the Star, which is lovely. We have the Magician, always with the majors, and we have 5 of Wands. Okay, so I think you guys fought pretty hard to be where you are. I really do. I think that you guys, you're very intentional about where you are. This has taken work. This has taken strength. There has been it's not, you guys didn't just wind up together. It wasn't by accident. It wasn't like you bumped into each other in the park and it just so happened that your families have been wanting to set you up for years. Like, I don't think that's your guys' story. I think there's a little bit more, I don't want to say depth, but there's a little bit more like pain to it, more of a story, more of like endurance. I feel like you guys have actually had to endure something and go through something. And the 5 of Wands it's conflict. It's a little bit, it's not like full out freaking rivalry, but you worked at this, you fought for this, you stood up for this. It might have been fun, it might have been entertaining at times, but it was definitely, you guys have a story, a background, a history, and you wanted this, and you both work towards this. And this is what's interesting, because I do see you guys as being very strong. I also see you guys as being very independent. And this Solitude card, it's like, I don't know if this is just you or if it's both of you, but you guys might need this like, almost like this timeout, but not, I really don't mean like a timeout necessarily to see other people, although every relationship is different. So like, no judgment if you do want a timeout to see other people, or if you do want to open your relationship up or whatever, but like, that's not the vibe I'm getting here. This is more of like, you need to experience something, or each of you need to experience something big and on your own. It's something, God, it's almost like you put so much into trying to get together that you wonder, like, are you together now because you worked so hard at it and you don't want to give it up? Like, if you left each other again now for a week or 2 weeks and maybe took a trip alone or took a trip with friends, would you still want this person at the end of it? And I absolutely believe you would. I really do. I have no reason to believe you wouldn't. I think you guys have something. I think you have a history. And I think there's like this kind of intensity and pattern and thrill ride that's going to continue to play out with you guys for as long as you're together. There's something very compelling about you guys. But I also think there's this part of each of you that needs to kind of check out for a little bit, to kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know, like you just need to do your own thing, get back to you in a way, and then you guys need to come back together. And I see this in just the weirdest way. And so yeah, consider this. Consider that a time out of sorts might be the thing that will set your head right, that will make you feel 100% in, that will make you realize like, just because you fought for this person, it doesn't mean you have to stay with them forever. You can actually show everyone that you're now with them for other reasons, if that makes sense. Like, you're not just with them because you told everyone you wanted to be and you manifested them and they're perfect for you. No, you're with them because like it's actually your person. You get each other. You have these things that bond you to each other and connect you. And I just feel like there's this person makes you feel strong. They make you feel capable, but also they make you feel independent. Like they empower you to really do your own thing, which is so strange because I don't feel like all relationships have this piece, but it is a thing with you guys. And you guys are both individual, you're kind of like old souls. You're both kind of oddballs in a way, in a very weird way. You're two oddballs. Okay, I want to see your guys' like near future. Yeah, let's see what you guys have to look forward to. Let's put it that way. Okay, Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, and Cups. Okay, so Page of Wands and Ace of Wands, there is some action here. There is some passion. There's some fun. There's creative outlets. There's this like I want to snap my fingers and be like, things are happening. You're moving and shaking. There's absolutely this like meeting of the minds where you guys sit down and you're like, here's what I'm passionate about. Here's what I want to do. Here's the direction I see my life going, the direction I see this relationship going. Are you on board? And then that person's like, yeah, it's exactly what I want. I feel the same way. Let's do this. Like that's what I get in the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands. This like very intentional conversation about like, here's what I want for my life. That's great that we're a couple, but it doesn't mean that we have to like roll over and die together. Like let's do this, whether we do it together, apart. This is an adventure. This is us growing. I just feel like you're two people who are very strong individuals who will always need to like create this depth and strength and like capability and capacity for your each individual person, meaning yourself. And I don't know where we got all that from, but you know, it's weird. It's not a story I've ever told before. It's not a message I've ever gotten. So that's my consider this. And I can't even repeat what I just said, but consider that like taking some time apart and coming back together is perfect. And again, this time apart, this isn't like a break in the like, you know, Ross and Rachel, we were on a break kind of thing. This is the like break of like, look, I love you. I am taking this trip so that I can come back and give you even more of me, so that we have even more to talk about, even more to goal towards, whatever it is. Maybe it's one of you even like checks out so you can like advance in your own job or career path, whatever it is. And you know what, maybe it's someone goes back to school and you guys stay together, but you acknowledge that one of you is now like returning to school, and that's a whole different path, and the relationship might look a little different as a result of that. Like but I see it as very positive, and I see it as an opportunity for both of you to kind of branch out. There's a branching out here, but also a truly like in this, there's a strengthening. Like you could only do this if your core got stronger, if that, of course that makes sense. So yeah, I actually see your core, your base is strong and solid, and as a result of it, you guys are able now to branch out. So consider that. We have 6 of Cups here, which I love because this is a card that for the life of me right now, I cannot think of the meaning of. I just did. Okay, the Six of Cups, got it. I call this the simple pleasure card. This is a card to me that is like, I've always said, like, this is sitting in the sunshine, drinking tea and reading a book. It is that card of like the simplest thing that brings you joy. What did you do when you were a kid that made you laugh? Like, what made you giggle when you were a kid, and thinking of that memory? It's just that very, very pure chemical that makes you happy. It's not what you got when you're like on drugs. It's not what you got like post colitis or coital or whatever. It's that like very pure, innocent set of happiness. So for your future, I do see you guys coming together, this like meeting of the minds, embarking on this adventure. And I do see it like really making you guys feel very like safe, secure, happy, and this just like childlike kind of blissful way. And again, I don't know what this means. Maybe this means something to you. Maybe you've been wanting to get back to like a very simple pleasures kind of like state. I'm not sure, but it means something. There's just a simplicity and a beauty to how things will be carried out and seen in your future. But again, with that comes this action and this passion, and this drive, and things are happening. So we're all over the board with this reading, but my big takeaway is consider this. You guys have a path that takes you apart from each other, possibly in a way that will make you guys only get stronger. Yeah, this branching out, but this getting stronger at the same time. I see you guys as like a solid and secure couple. I see you guys as like being together for a while and being together for a very long time. If that's something you want, it doesn't mean you absolutely will be. If you don't want it and you're over this person, then you branch out and you peace out. But like, I actually don't see that. I really see this like this journey, and like you guys going through these different like sunrises and sunsets and just parts of your life and phases. I see you doing this together in a, I don't know, neither one of you feels very like out of control or crazy. You seem like you're cut from the same cloth. You're similar. Your minds work in the same way. The same kind of things bring you joy and pleasure. I think you guys are both very like cerebral. You're in your heads, you're thinkers, you're kind of stoic. Yeah, I feel like I can see you guys. I don't know if any of that tracks. If it does, let me know, but this is how I see you guys. I want to ask Spirit for some input on your guys' dynamic. Okay, the World, love that. The Devil, also okay. Not great, but okay, just kidding. Wheel of Fortune, again, majors, always with the major card. So we're asking Spirit for input, so none of this is bad. The World is good, Wheel of Fortune is interesting, and the Devil, how do we take the Devil card? So I do think things are going to be happening. I really do. The World card is very much a what you wanted so much with the Musician and this Magician and the Star energy. You guys have this capacity and this power, especially when you put your heads together and you work together to achieve whatever you want. And it might be unconventional. It might not be what other couples could do. You guys can do it. And I think the Devil card to me is this reminder from Spirit, like, not that you do, because I don't think you guys have a habit of giving in to temptations or like losing inhibitions, but it's just kind of this reminder, like, what you have is beautiful, it's pure, it's real, it has something there's an innocence almost to it. And I want to say, like, don't lose that innocence, but I don't even know what that means, because that's so cliche, and I don't know that for some people losing the innocence might be how other relationships function on the daily, and there's nothing wrong with that. So like, I just don't even know what that means, but it's a phrase, and I think to me it just means like, whatever you're doing that works, stick with that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you guys are resisting or you're leaning into or you're practicing or not practicing, just it works for you. And I do think it's this message of like staying true and somehow like not giving into temptations and continuing to like just walk that straight line, clear path, whatever it is. But I really think you guys can make things happen. And the Wheel of Fortune is, and it's closer to the Devil card than the World card. It is that reminder of like, you know, things cycle, and there is such a thing as karma in a way, and a karmic quality can be given to things. And I feel like possibly you guys might subscribe to that more than other people. Not everyone believes in karma. Not everyone, or people believe in karma differently. But you, whatever your guys' meaning of karma is, I do think there's a part of it that like you guys adhere to, and it is, your relationship works for reasons that other relationships might not work, but you have like your own rules that you follow, and I think this really works for you guys. And I can't even speak to it much more than that, but this is input from spirit, and it just tells me that whatever you guys subscribe to, and whatever your north compass is, stick with that, because you guys really do have something special. And yeah, as I'm going to cut this one short after 17 and a half minutes, because I already feel that there's a sense of redundancy that I could give to this. But I will wrap it up by saying, well, I'll probably pick one more card too, because I'd like to pick one more card. I will say that there's something very powerful in the two of you. And I do think that you are that couple that if you said, look, I want to come together and do this. I want our relationship to look like this in 5 years, 1 year, 10 years. This is where we're retiring, and this is what it's going to look like. I just believe you guys can do that. You can do anything. Like you just feel very meant to be. But yeah, consider that you have maybe a purpose of something you have to achieve that might take you in a slightly different direction than this like constant that you're on. And that's okay, because this is, you guys have a purpose and you have a life to live. And I do think that being together is part of that. Together but apart, separate but apart. And that can still mean like living in the same house and being fully committed and living this amazing relationship, but like maybe just thinking about things differently, or having a different like focus or energy for a minute. Okay, so I want to see your dynamic, and I mean this in a good upcoming way, in a card, and let's see what this is. And we have oceans and bravery. So this still makes me think of like a journey. It makes me think of where south is an adventure, oceans is bravery. And I don't know, maybe one of you is getting called to like some kind of duty or work or purpose that does, I don't know, like either the person that's getting called to this is going to a place that's like very remote or cut off, or maybe the person, and then also leaving the other person alone for this, or there's this, one of you is doing something very off and individual, isolating possibly, but I don't see it affecting your dynamic in any way, and I honestly see good things coming of it. So if you're the person that's going to be sort of left behind, or not necessarily the one doing this unique thing that's going to be happening, it means that you will now have the time and the solitude and the space to do the other thing that you need to do, that you have been wanting to do. So yeah, consider that this is actually a very good and positive thing, and will now open a door for you to get this other thing done. It's almost like you both have these two boxes you have to check, and it will look, checking them will make things look and function a little differently, but it's totally okay. So yeah, that's your reading. We got to it. It was rocky, but we definitely got there, and you guys have something special. I don't think I've ever had a relationship like this. I think it's very, actually, looking on the outside, looking in, it might lack excitement, but there's this like dynamic quality to it. Like you guys are fire. Like you're fire. There's a power here. There's an energy. There's that like, we can make anything happen. We can, I don't know, like it's very powerful and it's lovely, and I love it for you guys. So if you want to comment on that, let me know if this spoke to you, if it tracked. I would love to hear it, and I hope to read for you again. So thank you so much. Goodbye. Tarot, thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. You came here, your pile 4, and we're going to get right into it. This is about relationship advice, and the topic or theme is consider this. So in a way, each pile has brought up something to consider, although I feel like they've just also been kind of like deep dives of your dynamic. But yeah, the whole point is to have something to consider. And we have this rune card, which is now these. And this to me is like, it's a card of delay, but here's the thing. It's a delay out of like a necessity or a need. This like limitation, this inability maybe to move forward, unable to move, hardship, but also like this is happening, or consider this. If this speaks to you at all and we're just scratching the surface, consider it's like a test. It's supposed to happen. You were supposed to have ridden out that storm to get where you need to go. Consider that it's not a sign that you shouldn't be with this person, or that things, or that you're cursed, or you're hashtag not blessed. Consider that maybe it's exactly what was supposed to happen. And I hope we're not speaking of something tragic or awful, truly, but I just want to keep that on the table as a possibility. Like, maybe you were supposed to go through this with this person, and they were supposed to help you, and you were supposed to experience this kind of new struggle, if you will. Okay, so I'm going to get 2 other cards to kind of see you guys. I want to see your dynamic in a card, and that is speed, movement, and I want to see another card to kind of speak on you guys, and that is going forward. Interesting. Very interesting. Actually, we have 2 cards here, so I'm just going to go with it. Going forward and relaxation. Okay, I totally get the speed and the going forward. I'm not sure about the relaxation piece, but I think that's because I've generally only pulled 1 card for that. So, okay, let me get into some tarot to see you guys. And it's funny because speed... Okay, I just said I'd get into tarot, and I will, but looking at these 4 cards and speaking to your dynamic, your relationship in a card, speed, movement, it's almost like you guys have really been through a lot. A lot's been happening. Everything from like good, bad, otherwise. There's been a shitstorm. There's been a excitement. There's been things to fight about, things to hope for, things to like, there's just been a lot to bring you guys together, and maybe it is making things move quickly. But I do actually see you guys going forward. And when I just saw this card, I really took away the like, consider that this was all meant to happen for a reason kind of thing. And I'm going to like hold to that, because I really, as I turn these other cards, I do see this momentum with you guys. I see this like, yeah, there's absolutely this going forward. And this, it's funny because these 2 cards do speak to a delay. There's a more stagnant energy here. There's more of like a questioning of like a pondering, a taking a minute. But I want you to consider that this was meant to happen. It wasn't relaxing. I sincerely doubt it was relaxing, but it was like a pause button. It was there for you guys to experience, to take in together. I would just say consider that everything's happened exactly as it was supposed to. And that even though it may have been a struggle at times, it may have been hard, it may have felt like you guys were being pushed to the limits, maybe that's what your dynamic needed, what your bond needed, what you 2 needed to really like feel each other or trust each other or grow or whatever. I just want to say, consider that the way things have played out, it's exactly how maybe things were always supposed to play out for you when you met your person, or the person that you're supposed to be with in the here and now for as long as you want that to play out. Okay. I'm going to get 3 cards to see you guys currently in 3 cards, and let's see currently what you guys are like in 3 cards. King of Pentacles, love it. The Hanged Man, a little stagnant, which does not imply this like speed, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so it's almost like you are on this kind of cycle, and the Hangman does make me think, I had it right the first time, didn't I? It does make me think of this, this pause, this taking things in, this like martyrdom of just, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait, I'm going to wallow, I'm not going to I'm going to marinate. I'm just going to make sure everything is right. But all the while with the King of Pentacles here, it does give you that sense of like, you guys, it feels like there's a home here. It feels like you guys have struck a balance. It feels like you're in this safe space. That truly, maybe that is why you're hanging around. Maybe you are taking this all in because it actually, as crazy as it might be, it feels right. There's this kind of this like complexity, or this, what's the word when two things are opposite? I can't think of it. But there's this sense here of like, even though it's been possibly rocky and hard and difficult and challenging, there still is this sense of like you wouldn't have wanted to have gone through it with anyone else. And I do think the Wheel of Fortune is, you'll know when it's time to move forward. And I do mean move forward as a couple. I mean move forward together. But you're still weathering or working through this situation here, this interesting pause button. But it will be the thing ultimately that bonds you guys, and it is exactly what it was supposed to be. I do see you guys going forward together, and I do see this wheel that you're on letting you off at exactly the right point. In a kind of like karmic fashion, I absolutely see things playing out exactly as they should. Okay, I don't know if I just said a bunch of nothing there, or if it really did make sense, but for me, it makes sense. And there's just this like, so far the takeaway is like, consider this. Everything played out as it was supposed to. Every little detail with you guys is a sign that you are with the right person. Now, when I say that, I like kind of tread backwards, and I'm like, well, if you're really not into this person, or if they don't treat you right, or if it feels wrong or toxic, then yeah, it's not your person and you need to back out. But like, let's say everything feels right. Let's say everything in your bones feels right about this person, except maybe something happened or a couple things happened and you thought to yourself, those would never have happened if it was really the person I meant to be with. So then it's, consider this. Yeah, it was meant to happen. You guys were meant to experience that, to go through that, to have those conversations, to have those experiences together, whatever they may be. And again, in my head, these are not like horrible things. So I'm not sitting here like lightly glossing over any real tragedy. But life does have very hard and challenging moments. And I just think this person is here for you, with you in this moment for a reason, and they really could be your person moving forward. Okay, I want to see your guys' near future in 3 cards. So we've got the Pentacles. This is the thing, huh? Okay, 3 of Cups. I'm good with that. Oh no, Page of Cups, pardon me. The High Priestess. Okay, so I do feel like you guys are, the King of Pentacles for a now is very much telling me up top line that you're right where you need to be. It's your place. You feel safe and secure. You're so happy you could hang out there for a while. In your near future, the Knight of Pentacles tells me like, you guys are going to now really start to build something. You're building, you're growing on this. You are embracing this. You are owning this. This is like, you're out of your hangman phase. You are no longer stagnant. You're no longer wallowing. You're no longer feeling sorry for yourself. You guys are both like, okay, we're doing this. Like, we acknowledge these are our people and we are doing this. The Page of Cups, also there's this like, I don't know, I just feel like you're going to start exploring each other in a new way. You're going to start seeing things differently, but in a very happy, positive, there's this exploration. And with that does come this new feminine energy, which brings with it like mystery and indulgence and kind of like sensuality and just, I don't know, like beautiful secrets. And I don't mean secrets the kind that like, I mean divine, like mystical secrets. Like, it makes me think of the Divine Feminine. It's a card that comes before the Empress card, which is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. Not one of it, it is my favorite card. But this is like, the Empress card would be like the next card I would turn over to describe you guys. Or like, what's your, after your close future, what's the future after that look like? And that to me like makes me think of like fertility and marriage and abundance and all these other beautiful things. I just feel like you guys you've been down this road, and you started at the very, very beginning. And at the very beginning, something happened that was, I'm just going to say icky. That can mean so many different things. But like from there, you learned so much, you questioned things, you got excited about things, you grew together. And now I feel like you guys are really just taking on this new space and energy together. So yeah, consider this. This could actually be your person. This ride that you've been on could be your person. This is something you could go through with like a coworker at a coffee shop. And in one summer, you could see all this shit happen. You can go through all these things. You can mature so much together. You can experience all these things almost like just in a work environment that's like super G-rated. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you're the person I'm supposed to be with, and here's why. And that is one example, but like, that's the vibe I get, that you've just had things thrown at you that are like off color, off script, you couldn't have imagined it. You never thought this is like the direction your life was gonna go, and yet here you are, and it's happening, and it's exciting. And I think you're very happy right now. I think you have this sense of like, anything can happen. Okay, so I wanna see you to that point in one card. I wanna see your person in one card. So here's you in a card. And I love this. We have the sun, which is light, heat, energy. And your person is mystery and dark matter. And the mystery part is okay for me because it's like you're light and they're dark. There is very much this sense of opposites attract. And the dark isn't like a dark entity. You know, it's complexity. It's like a higher knowledge, a higher learning. There's this very beautiful but yet powerful, there's a power here. I do think your person has a very, very strong mind. I have a feeling they're very smart. There's something like very bright about them. Whereas you, not a takeaway, you could be just as smart. I'm just getting a vibe from them that they have a like very, very high functioning mind for like numbers, science, a lot I'm feeling with like science. Whereas you have this this energy, you're so capable. Your mind works in a way of like, you can manifest things, you can make things happen, you can, oh God, like once you set your mind to something, there's absolutely no stopping you. And there is this quality of this attraction. You bring people in, you're light and energy, and it's beautiful. And your person is also energy, but they have this darker kind of quality. And I don't even like saying the word dark because there's nothing bad about it. It's just this mysterious part that you love. And again, they can be like, it's like the nerdy bookworm or the kind of mad scientist type person, but you never would have known this about them. Or maybe it's clear to the world, but you never would have been attracted to this person in the past. There's just something kind of opposite-y, but also very, very like in tune about you guys. When the level you connect on, the plane you come together on, it's very, you've never experienced anything like it before. And I think you guys both show sides of each other that are like, you help the world see each other in the ways you want to be seen. Like you're your best versions of each other when you're together. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I want to get input from Spirit. 3 cards, input from Spirit. This is good stuff. We've got 10 of Cups, 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups isn't good, but that's all right. This is input, so we'll make it good. 10 of Cups, 5 of Cups, and 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Cups is a lovely, absolutely lovely card, which tells me that this relationship can be the kind of dynamic where truly dreams and wishes can come true. This can be like a rainbows and like unicorns kind of situation. So the input from Spirit here is like, there is this bit of, I don't know, it's this like follow your emotions. If you're feeling it, express it. If you want to say it, say it. If this person inspires you to do or say or feel something, just roll with it. This is a very like safe space, and I think that the more you express, the more you communicate, the more you show and reveal, the greater your dynamic is going to be, and the greater your connection in your relationship, if that's what you want. Five of Cups, this is a sad card of like loss and kind of like, I don't know, it could be mourning. It's kind of like mourning a loss, but I feel like this, in this context, is a card of like this, it's like the opposite, basically. Like the input from Spirit is this person can make you feel very secure. You don't have to feel lost with this person. There's a potential here. I think if you open yourself up, if you communicate, if you allow yourself to feel things and experience things, I really think that this dynamic can take you places. And I think because you guys, you have this rich history, and these rich experiences and kind of backstory now, that you can really experience a lot together. And 10 of Wands, I think this is just a like, yeah, it's not going to be easy. It might feel there's been burdens. There'll probably be more. It's not going to be like always this cakewalk, and you know that because it hasn't always been. But like, I think it's also just, you guys are deep people. You feel things deeply. You might tend towards like extreme notions and thoughts, and I wouldn't say you guys go to dark places, but you're like, you think like a philosopher, kind of. You have, your minds work in a way where you see things for what they are, and that can be kind of bleak at times, let's say. So I don't think that you are two people who are always going to come up like sunshine and roses. I think there's going to be moments where you both like have this like, oh, this is heavy, this is intense, like this weight. But you guys also have this very like, there's so much energy and potential. And I do, when I see you guys going forward, it's green, it's bright, it's crisp, it's clean, it's like juicy. There's something very, very exciting and yet peaceful about you guys. So I do think the 10 of Wands is just a heads up. Like, yeah, things might be hard at times, might be a little bit of everything, but like, gosh, you guys have been through it, and there's something exciting in store for you guys. There really is. And I don't know, I feel like you're a younger couple. I don't know why I get that feeling. You might not be, but it just feels like there's just something exciting, and there's a lot of potential for you guys. And yeah, I'm going to see in one card your dynamic and your future in one card, and then I'm going to call the reading. I'm going to say that's enough, Spirit. Okay, here we go. Power, volcanoes, force, energy, light. I'm going to put this by the sun because I feel this is like a very powerful, rich, bright card. This is the card to say like, you guys do have a power. Yeah, and this whole deck is beautiful. Every card is like positive, and this card looks a little funny. So I'm trying to think like how I can convey it so that it actually like gets you excited about like, this is your dynamic, this is your future. But it is, you guys, and this is why I almost see you guys as younger, because there's so much potential here for you two as a couple. And I feel like to build your lives and to go in these directions that like work for each of you to create these like incredible futures. There's just this unleashing of great things that can happen. And there's heat here, there's passion, there's light, there's energy, there's kinetic energy, there's power, there's all sorts of things, and you guys have this. So enjoy it, capitalize on it, enjoy each other, love each other, have a great time. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you have any input or comments or questions, please let me know, and I hope to read for you again. So thank you. Goodbye.